roll.
Hello, my name is Gavin. This is Genre Books. This is a quick book review of Ziska by Marie Corelli. This is a late review for two October events. One, Victober, and possibly, liminally, Occult Detective October. I'll come to why I think it might have a toe dipped into that event. Ziska, The Problem of a Wicked Soul, is an 1897 novel by Marie Corelli. At the time of publication, her novels were outselling Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Rudyard Kipling, and H.G. Wells combined. Her fans included Queen Victoria, so we can't get too much more Victober than Marie Corelli. Her works were also collected by a young Winston Churchill. Her works are gothic, fantastical, supernatural, sometimes venturing into scientific romance. And in Ziska we have something that is supernatural. It is a touch of horror. It is fantastical. It has a stamp of oriental allure and a little bit of occult detective DNA. We have here not an occult detective, but in Dr. Maxwell Dean, it is a character that ticks at least some of the boxes. He's inquisitive, so that helps for any detective. He's a scientist, yet he's open to the occult and the supernatural. But he wants to explain the supernatural in terms of science. This is where I think he differs from being a true occult detective, because this is his ultimate aim, where a proper occult detective would be wanting the truth in order to instigate a resolution to an issue or restore some justice to a situation. Dr. Dean is happy just to have the answer, know it, because it's going in his book. Damn the consequences. Quite literally. So he is writing a book, the theory of which he propounds to some of the other characters in the book throughout the course of this novel, and which in the epilogue appears with its title, A Scientific Theory of Ghosts. So it's no surprising that the novel concerns ghosts, and not much of a spoiler, it's in the prologue that a spectral breath has emanated from the pyramids, and the Princess Ziska is thereafter amongst us. Us, by the way, are British expats and tourists following the fashionable calendar and appearing at this time of year in Cairo, the setting for the whole novel. They are aristocracy, nouveau riche, some a little bit more bohemian. They are, by turns, snobbish, desperate, complacent, consumptive, delusional, and xenophobic. They are very near caricature, very comical, painted with a broad brush. Corelli has obviously had a lot of fun dreaming up the situations of these characters. But their broad brush approach just serves to actually highlight the more nuanced characters of our pseudo-detective Dr. Dean, the French artist Gervais, and the princess Ziska herself. Gervais, we are led to believe, is the reincarnation of an ancient Egyptian warrior, and an ancient Egyptian warrior who had done Ziska wrong many eons ago. Actually, a little bit more than wrong. This warrior had killed her. If hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, one murdered is upping the ante considerably, and that is what the book is concerned with. This reincarnation revenge romance has some of the Corelli hallmarks. The prose is pretty purple. The emotions are overwrought. The gender roles are seemingly set in stone. And Roy, if you're listening, there's also a side swipe at those modern pesky female bicyclists. Ziska, however, the character, is evil incarnate. Dr. Dean knows this, or at least heavily suspects who and what Ziska is, and even confronts her at a point during the book, but is happy to let the situation play out. So yeah, like I said, this is where I think he stops being an occult detective, or at least he is a very amoral one. Gervais falls into Ziska's trap. We don't know whether this is because, as Corelli writes it, he can't help himself because he's a man, or he can't help himself because this is fated. This is history repeating. And all of this is set against the backdrop of Egypt. At the time this book was published, the country had only been occupied by the British for about 15 years. And it would remain occupied by the British until 1956. But Egypt had held a sway over modern Western imaginations since the time of Napoleon. This novel is suffused with the mystery of the pyramids and the Sphinx, and it gives us the most sunshiny Gothic literature you can imagine. There are ghosts, tombs, doomed love, all against the backdrop of the desert. An occult mystery is solved, but scarcely believed. And Corelli herself was either a believer or the owner of one of the all-time great poker faces. 4 years after the publication of Ziska, she was giving a lecture on the mysteries of Egypt in Scotland. And 2 decades after this, when I think Lord Carnarvon had just died, or had not in fact yet died, but was very ill. Lord Carnarvon, of course, the funder of the Carter expedition, which discovered the tomb of King Tut. She did her own part to perpetuate the curse of Tutankhamun. She wrote to a newspaper at the time, "I cannot think that some risks are run by breaking the last resting place of a king of Egypt, whose tomb is specially and solemnly guarded, and robbing him of his possessions. According to a rare book I possess, titled The Egyptian History of the Pyramids, the most dire punishment follows. The book names secret poisons enclosed in boxes in such way that those who touch them shall not know how they come to suffer. That is why I ask, was it a mosquito bite that has so seriously infected Lord Carnarvon? To which, in counterpoint, yes, but don't let a little thing like reality stop you from enjoying Marie Corelli. I think this is only the second of her novels I've read. I read A Romance of Two Worlds last Victober. I think I might read a Marie Corelli every Victober. She's very good value. But there you are. Until next time, bye.